Michelle, welcome to the cave.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me today. It's that time of the year, Halloween, and of course we have Halloween ends October 14th. Exciting time. How does it feel to
Yes,
be part of this what's the word I'm looking for? The cult classic. You'll be cemented in this in these movies forever.
it feels amazing. So when I found out it was actually Halloween, a part of this renowned franchise, I was beyond myself. So excited.
We're gonna dive a little bit more into it in a few minutes, but I want to get to know more about Michelle.
Yeah.
Born in Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Raised
Yeah. Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. How did you acting bug? What hit you? What made you get into it?
So I was an only child growing up, so I spent a lot of time by myself, playing with my dolls, my Barbies, watching a lot of TV, watching a lot of sitcoms, and just developed this large imagination. And I just kind of always knew I wanted to like be in those worlds that I was watching on TV. I wanted to play in those, and so that's kind of originally what got the acting bug started for me. But it's funny, I actually was in, I think, kindergarten, and I
Mm.
won like a little scholarship or something to take a class at Georgia State University. And so I took an acting class. I remember it was like Saturday mornings. And at the time, I think just being so young, I was also shy. And
Mm.
it was just a little overwhelming for me because it was mostly adults, in the class. I don't fully remember the situation 100%. There's probably something I'm leaving out. But I remember I was in this class at Georgia State University on Saturday mornings. There was a lot of adults, and yeah, and it felt a little overwhelming at the time.
Mm.
And skip two, I got involved in gymnastics, and that became a priority for me. So it was pretty much school and gymnastics for 10 years from 8 to 18. So when I went to college, well, actually, before I went to college, before I started college, I was like, what do I want to do? And like trying to figure that out. And I had this night that I spent with my best friend, and I like sat there for hours trying to figure out like, we were taking like personality tests and things like that, like trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And I was like,
Yeah.
there's this acting thing that's like never left
Mm.
me that I'd really like to give a try. And so we decided I should apply to, colleges in New York and LA so I could be around those environments and sort of dip my toe into it.
Right.
So that's what I did. I went out to college in LA and became a theater major, immersed myself in theater, started taking all the performance classes I possibly could, and then I started to audition for main stage plays in college, and I was in Macbeth, The Seagull, South Pacific, Skin of Our Teeth, and just had a great time with that, and yeah, then started to dabble my toes into
Right.
like the commercial world in LA and things like that, and the rest is history.
You mentioned like gymnasts and everything. I've had guests
Yeah.
on where they've done like like the gymnast or like kind of mixed martial arts and everything, and they go right into like the stunt world. Did you ever think
Mhm.
about that at all? Like trying to get into that way also?
Yeah, I did. I did think about it. I've thought about it a lot. It's something that definitely like comes back to me often. And I kind of, for me, decided, because it does take so much work to pursue either of those things. Both of
Yeah.
them require a lot of behind the scenes work to invest in. And I decided I really wanted to be an actress on camera, but an actress who can do her own stunts.
Right.
So I have taken some stunt classes, and obviously with my gymnastics background, one of the first things they teach you when you're learning gymnastics is how to fall, to keep you safe. So I feel like I innately have a lot of that in my body, and then trained from gymnastics, but I never sought out to be a stunt person, but I have had a lot of people along the way mention that that's
Mm.
something I should pursue. But I really wanted to kind of keep my face on camera and
Right.
then get to
Go
do
for
my
what
own
you want.
stunts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you mentioned you've done a little bit of theater, you've done commercials, you've done a little TV and now film too. Like, what's your favorite you think so far?
Oh, I love film. I love film. I mean, film and TV were always the goals for me.
Mm.
So I wanted to be well versed as an actor, which is why I wanted that theater background. is my foundation, and then just wanted to build on there. But for me, theater, or sorry, film has always been the main goal. I just love um, the way that you're able to capture so much more in film. You've got these, close-ups, and it's really, that's where you can really like pick up all the nuance and things like that and get really deep with a character. So I love film, but I also I also really would love at some point in my career, I would love to do um, comedy, like a TV comedy. I think would be so fun because I grew up watching so many
Yeah.
sitcoms. So for me, like whether it's single cam or multicam, I don't really care. But at some point in my career, I would love to do, yeah, a TV comedy.
What was your go-to sitcom? Because you mentioned sitcoms a few times already. So I'm
Yeah.
curious, what's your favorite sitcom of all time, or one of your favorites?
Oh wow. I mean, I have so many. I mean, who doesn't love Friends?
Yeah.
The acting studio I go to, we actually like use Friends a lot for how we train in comedy. We actually use terminology like we have schwimmers and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's so I feel very connected to Friends. I love that concept of a ensemble cast. You also see it in Modern Family. I mean,
Yeah.
great comedy. But then some classic ones that I love as well, like the Golden Girls. Um, I even remember seeing like growing up and watching reruns, like old reruns at my grandma's house, like of Gilligan's Island.
Mm.
And then of course, there's fun ones like Home Improvement and yeah, there's so many.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love all those shows you mentioned. Great shows. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Nurse Deb, tell us how you got approached for the film.
Okay, so I mean, I auditioned the classic way. I
Okay.
actually submitted myself online on one of the actor casting websites, and I was like, oh, from the description, this sounds like something that I would naturally play well, and so I submitted, and they allowed me to audition, sent me the sides. I did a self tape, gave them the self tape back. Then from there, I had a callback. And so I did a live Zoom callback with the director and casting director. And I don't know, there was a couple of people on the screen. And yeah, and then that went well. And I still didn't know what the movie was at that point.
How long before you figure out what it was, or when you found out?
Yeah, so it wasn't until they sent me my sides
Okay.
that then there was something in there that said Halloween, and I was like,
Mm,
"Is this?" Like literally, I had that moment of, is this what I think it is?" And like, I had a phone call with my agent, and we're kind of like, and she's like, "Yes, yes, this is big, Michelle. Like this is like the Halloween
right.
franchise." So that's when I learned. Yeah.
So when you booked the role, what was the description you were given for Nurse Deb, and how did you prepare to play this character?
I think it was something like I don't remember if this was the exact verbiage, but it was something along the lines of like she's like determined, will do what she has to do to get what she wants or
Mm,
something like that. And I'm like, oh, I can connect with that. I'm a very like type A type of person, very, very goal oriented. I'm very driven and determined myself. And so I was like, those are things I can definitely relate to. I can do this.
that's awesome. Are you a horror fan? Do you enjoy the horror genre?
So I'm a new horror fan.
Okay.
Growing up, I was a bit of a chicken. Like I said, I was an only
Yeah.
child. So anytime I was like home alone, like I didn't want to do anything to wig myself out too much because my mind already played tricks on me. Like what's in the dark and what's that sound and all that stuff. Like I'm easily spooked. So I didn't watch a whole lot of horror growing up, but just the occasional like something fun in Halloween. Actually, I
Mm,
remember in high school I snuck into, I wish I could remember what movie it was. I have no idea what movie it was, but snuck into, well, I didn't sneak in, but I think I was under the age you were supposed to be to go
okay.
see the Halloween movie. But I've always enjoyed, I love holidays and I love anything you can do to celebrate holidays. So I have seen, you know, an occasional horror movie around Halloween because that's just fun to do, right?
Right.
So you got to experience the holidays. But now after having worked on this, I have a whole new appreciation for the horror genre.
Now working with Andi and Jamie Lee Curtis, like how was it working with them?
Oh my gosh, they're so great. They're so great, such wonderful, lovely people, both so intelligent. And of course, I mean, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis is known for her wit, you know. So, you know, she just walks into the trailer and, you know, has one-liners here, there, everywhere, you know, like easily just makes you feel at home and welcome like right away. So yeah, loved working with both of them.
Now, how was it filming like some of those like dark scenes in the movie?
Oh, I mean, like I was genuinely horrified, like at moments, like for sure. Like there, it's not like we were on a soundstage or something like that, you know, like in Burbank or something. We were like in, well, first of all, we filmed at night a lot of times. Like if
Yeah.
it was nighttime in the movie, it was usually nighttime when we were filming. And we were on location in Savannah, Georgia, which already, if you've ever been there, it's a beautiful city, absolutely beautiful city. But there is creepy element because there's a lot of history, a lot of cemeteries. You know, you've got these, you know, gorgeous like trees. I don't know exactly what they're called, willow trees, but so there's already this sort of creepy element. And then when you're filming, you know, in a real house, you know, not like on a sound stage, but you're
Right.
in a real house and it's really nighttime, it's easy to, you know, to be a little spooked. So yeah, so there's definitely moments where I was genuinely terrified.
How real did it feel? The other day I noticed that you posted a picture on social media of from the movie where you're like on the phone pretty much. It looks like you're on the phone screaming or something like that, and he's right behind you. How real did it feel at that point?
Oh yeah, very, very real. I mean, yeah, very real, 100%. I let myself go there and you know, I just wanted to give the best performance I could and I wanted it to feel as real and I wanted everybody to feel the horror. And so
Uh,
yeah, I went there with it.
uh, are the horror fans that are in love with these movies gonna be happy with the ending? I know you can't give
Yeah,
out spoilers, but are they gonna be happy with the ending?
yes.
Uh,
Yeah, I think everyone, this movie is going to be so cathartic. And I know fans have been waiting like so long for this. You've got fans that have been waiting, you know, for decades for this, you know, final epic conclusion to the Laurie Strode Michael Meyers, you know,
right.
journey. And I think that fans are just going to be applauding at the end of this movie. I definitely think they're going to be satisfied.
So the movie released October 14th in the theaters and Peacock on the same day, correct?
Yes, isn't that
Yeah,
exciting?
that's exciting. It's like so you have your choice. I know a lot of people are going to go see it at the movies because that's you have to go see something like that at the movie theater.
You have to. But for me, it's not even a choice. It's both. I mean,
Eh,
for me, like, you know, whenever I love a movie, I can't wait to go watch it again. So it's like you have the opportunity to go watch it in the theater and then, you know, next day watch it at home or like, you know, get a group of friends together and do a
Right.
little party watching Peacock. And yeah, it's great.
That's great. Now, what's next for you now, Michelle? Hop in any other projects you're allowed to tell us about or give us a sneak peek on?
You know, I have a couple of things that I'm working on right now that I'm or in the works, I should say. But got to keep them a little bit on the down low right now until some things solidify.
Right.
But hopefully, I'll be doing some a couple of projects with a buddy of mine, Patrick Durham, in the near future, and then there's also a series that hopefully will be solidifying soon, and then I'll be able to announce that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Lastly, for the listeners, the viewers now, how can they find you on social media to keep up with you?
Yes, I am on Instagram. My handle is at it's Michele Dawson.
All right, Michelle, this is great. Thank you for coming on, and we can't wait for the movie.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.